But technology remains a tool. It's not a replacement for the people. And once again, you can't have a successful organization without good people.
Presented from the Aishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
Welcome to Dealer Insider, the video series that touches the automotive dealer market. I'm Kyle Alexander, and joining me today is Ivette Dominguez Drawe, owner-operator of Alpine Automotive Group. Ivette, thanks for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me to join the show. I'm very excited to kind of hear a little bit about you and hopefully tell you a little bit about myself and our group and kind of go from there.
So you were just inducted into the Colorado Automotive Hall of Fame. You also just acquired your first Chevy dealership. So kind of huge congratulations to you with all of this success just within the last few months here.
Thank you so much.
And, Ivette, as someone who's built Alpine Automotive Group from, one store back in 2005 to now 7 dealership operation, right? Just after this acquisition
Yes.
across multiple states. What does this recognition tell you about how automotive leadership is evolving?
Well, I really feel that this recognition reflects a broader shift in the automotive leadership. Success no longer follows one traditional path. As a first generation auto dealer and minority dealer owner, we've proven that inclusion and diverse perspectives are competitive advantages. It was actually, to be honest with you, it was a wonderful evening. I really didn't know how I was going to feel, because it feels like getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. It feels like something you do kind of at an elderly age. Somebody said you should do it now before you're dead. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I hadn't even thought about it. So the people that I was inducted into the Hall of Fame with for this year, I believe there were 7 total, and most of them, to be honest with you, had passed. It was their families that were accepting the award and things like that. I think it was myself and maybe 1 or 2 living individuals that were inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I did feel very honored with that. I felt like it was a big celebration. Thank you so much for asking about that. And as far as the new dealership, we're about 6 days, I think 5 or 6 days into ownership of a Chevrolet standalone store in the Denver market. We have owned Chevrolet stores before, but they were part of a group, much smaller stores. But this is our first standalone Chevrolet store. And we feel very excited about this new venture. It's a local market. It's about 30 minutes away from us. It's a little bit more of a kind of an urban location, but we have lots of relationships very close by. We have a big relationship that we've had for more than 20 years with Children's Hospital, and it's right down the street. The VA hospital is close by. So we're very excited about this opportunity being local. It's not out of state. It's something that we can be at the store within 30 minutes, and we're really, really excited about the opportunity of being a Chevy dealership in the Denver market.
So great to hear. I mean, staying busy, lots of stuff going on. Kind of talking about Alpine Automotive Group here a little bit more. You've got this, I feel like you were talking about some of the diversity as a core value for the group. You've also, like many dealerships, kind of want your group to reflect the community you serve. So my question for you is, when you're expanding into new markets like you just recently did across different states in America, how do you replicate the community connection and some of that people first culture?
Well, in this particular case, again, we're not new to the community. We've been in Denver's for 20 years.
Right.
So I think that name recognition and the branding of our dealership that we've done over the last 20 years, the dealership group, I think that representation builds trust. We promote leaders who live in our culture of respect and empower them to adapt locally. We are like I said, we're very excited to be in this new community. I did reach out to the mayor to meet him, and I do want to be involved in that community. We have done a really good job, I would say, over the last 20 years being involved, whether it's Children's Hospital, Habitat for Humanities. I'm very involved with the local chambers, economic development, because I really, to be a good community member, you need to know what's happening in the community, and that's been something that's been very beneficial for me. And I would say over the last 20 years, the relationships that I've been able to build with those community members, whether I've been at a gala or an event, or I've worked on a fundraiser, or, we've donated, gosh, I think we're on our fourth or fifth vehicle to Children's Hospital. They're all ways for you to connect and brand your business, and it's a different way to brand. But I think it's so important, and it's so important for the employees that see you participating, and then they get excited when you involve them in, whether it's a Girl Scout organization event or anything like that. They really get excited when that you include them in, and that's something that I think is very important for any organization, especially automotive. I think it's been crucial for our success, and it's something that I'm really excited to do in this new community, even though, again, it's in the Denver metro area. It's still kind of like, how communities are a little bit, I think that maybe Aurora is competitive with Denver a little bit, or, maybe we're in the city of Littleton at our flagship store. So I think it's a way to give back to those individual communities and let them know that you're not just a business owner that's come to town to, you know, sell vehicles and service vehicles. You are really there to be involved in the community, and I'm really excited about that.
Talking a little bit more about you, Yvette, we talked
Yeah.
about your Hall of Fame recognition. A couple other things you've been recognized for. You've earned Latina's first Foundation Award recognition. You also were awarded Colorado's Most Admired CEO a few years back, and this is kind of all while navigating an auto dealer industry where women in minority ownership is somewhat significantly underrepresented. So, beyond your own dealerships, what specific opportunities do you see for changing the talent pipeline and ownership landscape across automotive retail?
Well, I think that because I'm a female business owner and operator, I believe that people see me, and I'm a good example. I do have we have a 23-year-old daughter that's new to the industry. She's been working at a auto group in Dallas. She works for the Sewell Automotive Group, and she has hit the ground running, and it's been so great to watch her flourish. She's 23, and learning the automotive industry from somebody else. We thought it was a good idea that she learn the industry, but maybe not come home and work for her parents, and it would be better for her. And she was originally going to do an internship with that group, but they talked to her and they said, Christiana, you won't qualify to be an intern, because you'll be a college graduate. And they said, what about applying for a permanent position? And then she called me and she's like, what do you think? And I'm like, I think you should at least, you should go for it. And she's been there for 18 months now. She was she was second place in rookie of the year, and she's made us proud, and she's working really hard. She's so driven and so talented. So that is one good thing. So I've always tried to be a good role model for my daughter and all her girlfriends, and anybody that I meet along the way, that I want to let them know that you can at times have it all if you want it. I don't think being a working mom affected me. I always made sure that I figured out how to kind of navigate around her schedule and school. She always went to a school that was kind of, I would say, close by work. So I don't think she really missed out on having a working mom. And now anytime I see a little like, I don't know, they say a child of a working mom ends up being more successful. I send her all of those things. Just a reminder that, I was a good role model, and she's now so driven herself. So it's been great for us to see, and we get to learn from her because she's kind of doing her own thing, paving her own way, and it's been really wonderful to see her flourish.
Very, very cool. Let's talk a little bit more about Alpine Automotive Group here. Your
Yes.
group has pulled down multiple national manufacturer awards, and it's all while maintaining some philanthropic roots in every community you serve. As you look at the next chapter of growth for your dealership group, how are you thinking about scaling the Alpine difference in ways that keep both the commitments equally non negotiable?
Honestly, I think that connection really for us drives both results and impact. Community involvement for being embedded into how we lead and how we measure success. And it's something that I think is crucial for our team and our development. Our culture of respect is reinforced through consistent training and leadership accountability. We're just getting ready to launch key individuals within our organization. They're doing one-on-one coaching. We have now, we're going to be doing some quarterly group training classes. So there's a lot that we're working on to make things better. It's one thing to grow, but you want to grow effectively, and you want to, as you make dealership purchases, you want to make sure that you can bring that culture that is at one store. You want to be able to bring it right away to another store, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But I think that as we have experienced and gotten better, I would say it's gotten easier for us.
Now, I know we were talking about NADA just a few minutes ago.
Yes.
We were both at the show for a few days. While you were there, and I know you were busy out on the show floor, but maybe what's one
Yeah.
conversation or trend that you heard a lot about that you're looking to
Well,
implement at Alpine Automotive Group this year?
Well, I think the big buzzword during NEDA was AI, and, all the different companies that are, I would say fighting over that segment. We obviously are very big in digital retail, service automation, and smarter data driven marketing. But technology remains a tool, it's not a replacement for the people. And once again, you can't have a successful organization without good people. So I would say the biggest the biggest thing we learned was, and again with AI, it's not like something you just turn on and it takes care of all your issues. I mean, it's something that, yeah, you certain tools are going to be more effective in an organization, and I think that we have a really good balance right now with CDPs, and we're very active in CTV. We have great vendors and partners that we work with, and it's been really effective for us to continue to grow and be able to add a store, and kind of, not necessarily, we don't have a cookie cutter approach, but we do have, we study the market, we make certain decisions based on that specific market, because sometimes it's not the more you spend in a market, sometimes it's just getting the most value you can for that market. And that's really what we've been focusing on. I would say it's one of the things that we'll continue focusing on for 2026. Kyle, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you reaching out. I appreciate your, you being flexible with my schedule. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview.
Yeah, that echo that sentiment. Thank you so much for taking the time to
Okay.
talk to me for Dealer Insider today.